Okay, the moment of truth has arrived. You're sitting with your lender. You authorize them to pull your credit report. You see the mouse click go, and the Jeopardy music starts playing in your mind, and then a few seconds later, up pops your credit scores, and they're not what you thought they were. Wow, well, how does that happen? Well, what we're going to do in the credit jungle today is we're going to pull back the curtain from the Wizard of Oz, and we are going to show you the reasons why your credit score is not as high as you want it to be or as high as you think it can be. Thanks for dropping into thecreditjungle.com today. This is George Anderson, and we're going to discuss something that I think a very small percentage of lenders actually know how to do. Okay, most of them, when they're giving advice, are going to tell you to raise your credit score by paying down credit card balances. And while that often works, that's not always the best and highest use of your precious dollars that you have. You don't want to go spending money to pay down credit cards if that's not going to get you what you want. So we're going to pull up an example of a credit card or a credit report that has the reason codes on it, and we're going to dissect these one by one. So let's go through this a little bit. And, just to help everybody feel better here, I'm not pulling up somebody with 750 credit scores. This is a person that has less than perfect credit, let's put it that way. But we're still going to be able to make the point that we want here. So you can see that the first score we have is Equifax, which is 500, TransUnion 445, and Experian 461. So this person's working hard to get that credit score down there, but we can still illustrate our point very well on this. So if you look on underneath the word Equifax there, and it's got a 00038, okay? That is a code. There's a series of codes that each of the credit bureaus use, and think of it kind of like a deck of cards. And if we're going to call reason code 38, let's just call that the Jack of Spades. Well, reason code 38 just happens to be the number one reason why this person's credit score is not higher with Equifax. So it says serious delinquency, derogatory public record, or collection filed. So there's some negative stuff on there. Let's go down to TransUnion next, and the number one reason, boom, again, code 38. Let's look at Experian, number one reason, boom, code 38. So the number one reason why this person's credit score is not higher is the Jack of Spades, or reason code 38. Now what's interesting, if you start going down a little bit further down that list, you can see that the number two reason is code 13, and then code 13 with TransUnion, but then it's code 20 with Experian. The number three reason goes code 18, code 10, code 13, and then the same thing. And it starts getting jumbled up there a little bit. So what's good for TransUnion may not always give you the same result for Equifax or Experian. So you really need to know how to do this and figure out the best strategy for a person. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of lenders that will just tell people, well, you've got a couple of credit cards that are maxed out, and without any thought as to what ranking code number 10 is, because code 10 is the easiest one to fix. Proportion of balances to credit limits is too high on bank revolving or other revolving accounts. That is what 90% of the lenders really do, because they really don't understand how the rest of it works. And it's taken me years to figure out how to do this. But to tell somebody to take $8,000 and pay down credit card balances when they might have $3,000 worth of collection accounts that could be deleted if you negotiated a pay to delete, well, what do you think would be a more effective bang for the buck? Well, it's obvious going to be the $3,000 on the collection accounts. The point I'm making here is that each bureau is going to rank things a little bit differently. What gets you the same action that would get you 60 points on one credit bureau might get you 20 on the other one. And so sometimes you have to have a combination strategy, or you have to really sit and think about it. Okay, are we trying to move all three scores? Are we just trying to move one? Or are we trying to move two scores? And then figure out where you have the likelihood to be able to get the best score improvement for the least amount of money. I will spend routinely an hour or more, sometimes 2 hours with my clients, looking at the reason codes, looking at their credit report, figuring out how much money they have, how much time that they can spend on the phone, and then customizing a game plan for them that's going to allow them to maximize their credit score with the least amount of money. If that's the kind of treatment and the type of counseling you want to have if you come into the credit jungle, push button, get Mortgage Professional. Let me sit down with you today. Let me explain to you how this all-important credit scoring algorithm works and how it affects your ability to qualify for a loan, but it also affects many, many other things other than just a mortgage loan. So thanks again for coming into thecreditjungle.com. This is George Anderson, and I hope to talk to you soon. Have a great day.